So what is the number one thing that building owners are asking for in 2019 that if you can deliver upon this, you're going to have a huge competitive advantage? It's data. You probably heard the statement that data is the new gold. And gold, there's never been a scarcity of gold. It's just been the cost to extract it or mine it has been so high that it's created a scarcity. It's been the same with data in smart buildings and smart building controls. You've always able to get the data, but it was too expensive to get it. That is until now. Hello, HVAC and Smart Building Controls Pro. This is Eric Stromquist with ControlTrends.com, and we've been tracking the trends at Control Trends for the last 10 years. And what we're about to tell you about is one of the most exciting trends that's happened. It's a game changer. Just like when the first Model T came out, it didn't matter how good your horse and buggy was, eventually you were going to be replaced. Same thing with a typewriter. It didn't matter how good your typewriter was. Once you got a computer, you weren't going back. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about a convention called Project Haystack. It allows you to extract and convert data and make it usable very inexpensively. Okay, so in this video, and watch it all the way to the end, I've taken the highlights of an interview we did with John Petsy from Sky Foundry and Mark Peacock from LinkSpring, two of the real experts on Haystack tagging and Haystack Connect. And we've taken the best of that. You can see the whole interview later next week. But I've taken some of the best, and the reason being because there's a special offer that you're going to want to take advantage of. So 3 things you're going to get out of this video, Control Pro. Number 1, you're going to learn what Haystack tagging is. Number 2, you're going to learn the mechanics of it. But most importantly, number 3, you're going to learn about a great opportunity where you can sort of fast track and get up to speed on Haystack, on Project Haystack and tagging. Okay, so if you hadn't subscribed to the YouTube channel already, please subscribe below. Check out the links for this special offer. And we'll see you on the flip side. All right, we are recording, young man, in 1, 2, 3. All right, Kenny Smyers. So excited. How about introducing our 2 guests?
I'd love to, Eric. We got 2 very important people with us, very well-recognized faces from the industry. We have John Petsy, partner at Sky Foundry, and we have Mark Peacock, who is the Vice President of Global Marketing and Communications at LinkSpring. Welcome to the show, guys.
Welcome, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, thanks.
Good to be here.
Good to be here.
Well, listen, you know, I don't want to give it away, but it's like we're going to try to find a haystack and a needle here because, among other things, we want to talk about Haystack. And again, Mark, your company, LinkSpring, is just doing some incredible stuff at the control level. And you guys are using, you know, Haystack as part of what you guys do. John, I mean, I think anybody that knows anything about analytics and rules-based use of data with Sky Foundry. I mean, you guys use sort of from a software side, but for our community who might not know, how about give them a thumbnail sketch exactly what Haystack is and why it's so important?
Yeah, let's start there. And we really appreciate being on the program so we can make sure the audience is aware. But every 2 years, the Project Haystack organization hosts a conference, trade show, and it's coming up in May.
May 13th through
13th through 15th. Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.
So it's a premier event of the community. Now, the Haystack community is an open source initiative that was started back in 2011 to solve one of the challenges we have with the data that comes out of equipment systems. And that challenge is that the data that comes out of all these different systems is not well defined, it's not well marked up, it's not easily interoperable. And so the organization got started to come up with a standardized approach to tagging data so that we all mark up our data, add the descriptors in the same way so that I can read the data out of your system, your building, your software application, and my software can immediately interpret it. And so we launched this effort in 2011, and by 2013 we had our first Haystack Connect event. That's what it's called, and of course you guys were there helping us support that very first event. And in 2013, I think most of the people who showed up had no idea why they were there. They came because people encouraged them to, and they wanted to learn. But the whole organization and the effort has matured tremendously since then. This is our 4th biannual meeting. And we have major sponsors and speakers, and it's all about making data easier to work with across applications. You know, historically, the data you had in your control system, it was in your control system and it was nowhere else, and it couldn't easily be used other places. And what the Haystack community with the Haystack standards are doing is making it easy for data to be portable, easily used, and taken advantage of. And there's a lot of technology to it, but there's a lot of learning around, what does it mean to work with data from different systems, and what are the key issues and principles involved. So.
Well, and I just want to hop in and say for our owners out there listening, what this really translates to from your perspective is you're going to be able to get this inexpensively. It wasn't that you couldn't get the data and usable data before. It was just expensive to do it. So if you're an owner, you definitely want to be paying attention. You want to make sure that your consulting engineer is specifying and asking for Haystack tags. If you're an integrator, you better know about this and how to use it, because otherwise you're not going to be price competitive when people try to use the data. And if you're a manufacturer, you want to make sure that you're incorporating this. So there is something there for everybody. This is not limited to one set of people in the whole smart building control side. It's really for everybody, right?
And that's a good point on the manufacturer. So sorry, Mark, but this will be one of the years where numerous manufacturers are standing up and showing how they're integrating. One of the things some of the audience may know and others may not is that the Haystack organization's been working directly with the BACnet committee for the last year to integrate those standards, and that's extended the standard and the capability of Haystack further beyond what had been done in the past. And we had a really exciting part of the conference this year. We call it Pitch Fest. Think of Shark Tank. For people in our industry, and we have 11 different companies that will be pitching their new commercial products that focus on helping this tagging effort, and open source projects. We see more members coming together to launch other open source efforts to break down these barriers so that we can all get to the future of truly intelligent buildings and have data flow easily and seamlessly across all these different products.
And I think, to your point, Eric, and obviously John expanded on it, is that Haystack now is not just for one group. It truly serves and is a valuable effort for the building owners and the operators, the integrators and contractors, as well as the OEMs. And as the organization, Project Haystack Org, has continued to further refine and develop itself and expand, we're really seeing a lot of different efforts in and around these groups coming together based on data. And a term or a phrase that John and I have been using going back, I think about 2-3 years, is that the data today is more valuable and worth a lot more than the device itself. And I think that is, again, one of the major elements in which this whole Project Haystack Org and Haystack Connect is centered around, is that importance of the data. And John mentioned interoperability. And I personally believe that that is one of the biggest challenges we have in the built environment, is not getting the data. I think we all can agree that getting the data is fairly routine. It's not that difficult anymore. It's, again, tagging, modeling, and all that, but making that interoperable between all the different systems, as well as the different audiences who want to use that data, whether you're in the C-suite, a CFO, you may have one sets of data, to a facility manager, to so forth, an integrator, and so forth and so on. So this whole interoperability thing is one of the key areas in which the Project Haystack initiative is solving today.
Yep.
Well,
go ahead,
John.
Well, I just want to pick up on that point. I want to joke a little bit about, Mark just said that the data becoming more valuable than the devices themselves. And when I have a chance to speak, I was at an AEE meeting a while ago. I often hit people with that, and then I be quiet for a second, and I can see the perplexed look on their face. And wait a minute, the data is more valuable than the device? How could that be, right? I said, well, what's a VAV controller cost? Okay. Pick a number, $250, $300, right? Okay. What will it cost you if you run that VAV box wrong for a year? Right? And they say, well, okay, it's a small device. Okay, well, it's, let's talk about the chiller. Oh, chiller, yeah, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars. What will it cost if you run that wrong for a year? Right? And what's the key to making sure that doesn't happen? It's the data. So it brings out, kind of two things. One, kind of try to shock people and understand how important the data is. But that's what we have to do, is change our mind about how we are going to use data to improve facility operations. And once we care about that and try to do that, we run headlong into this problem of the data from all these different systems, even if you can get it over, BACnet or OPC or Modbus, it has no meaning if you can't talk to the person who set it up. What is this point? What does it mean? Is it the supply temperature, the return? What is it, right? And that's where the work and the cost comes in. And that's exactly what Haystack was created to solve, is we're going to need to add tags to describe what we mean by the data. Let's all do it with the same tag. So if you say that's an AHU discharge air temp sensor, my software instantly can recognize that and use it. And this is, in the world of software, it's referred to as the semantic web. This idea of data has to have meaning is really revolutionizing many of the things we do in our life with software, with handheld devices or whatever, that makes it appear seamless to the human being. Behind that is semantic information that the software can interpret.
Well, John, let me make sure I get this right, because I might have misunderstood something. If I have, then you guys need to correct me now. But my understanding was Kenny wants to call it air handle unit Uno. I go AHU1 and Mark goes A1. But all those things equate to a Haystack tag right here. So we can call it 9,000 different things that mean this one thing, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
The tags describe what it is. And I guess, I thought one of the best analogies was actually one John Sublett at Tritium did a couple of years ago. He says, my name's John Petsy. That's my name. That doesn't tell you everything about me. The other things are the attribute, what my job is, what my title is, where I live, what I like to do. Those are facts about me that will tell you more about me, right? Well, the tags are facts about that thing that may have 9 different names, but we all know it's the same thing. You call your points one thing. So it's not a standard naming convention. I'm glad you brought that out, because that'll never happen. People need to name things the way they need to for their own reasons, but that doesn't mean we can't add tags that describe exactly what it is. And that's one of the first levels of understanding that we get to with people. And I thought the person example was good.
It's a great example.
There's attributes about me that go, you can't put that all in my name, right? Any more than you can put all this information in a point name in a BAS system. You can't. The name would be miles and miles long.
People are really coming around and asking about Haystack, talking about Haystack. And so,
we see it in specifications now. And it's not because Mark and I convinced them. It's because people have come to the awareness that if I'm going to have an intelligent building, which is going to have multiple different systems from multiple different vendors, by default, there's no way around that, right? Then the data has to be easily interchangeable, or the cost barrier to getting an intelligent building will be too great. Right?
It's, in addition to the cost, it's the time factor.
Yeah.
Because, being able to understand all that data and then try to put it together without tags, without modeling, without some kind of cohesiveness will take you, much, much longer to do than if it's already done for you as the data is being generated.
One of Kenny's customers who, was talking about how much easier it was going to be, because his term for the people that actually had to link the disparate data up that weren't tagged right, he called himself a link monkey, meaning he had to look at this piece of data and then link it to this piece of data. And then that was where the cost ran way up, because every single piece of data, and what you guys eliminate that. So the link monkeys are going to become extinct because you don't have to do that if you adopt.
Yeah, no, good point. I admit that's what you're getting at. They call them data wranglers, link monkeys, whatever. But you bring up a good point, and I'm going to tie this together with what Kenny said about aha moments. So, I have this role in trying to educate people about Haystack, and one day I get a phone call from a consulting engineer that I've talked to a number of times, even did a presentation, and it's like, John, I get it. And I mean, that's how the call started. I'm like, hi, excuse me? He goes, I get it.
Nice.
You get what? I get why tagging is important. I go, great. How come? What happened? He goes, I'll tell you what happened. We help specify advanced intelligent building applications, and we put out a spec, and we got these prices that shocked us. And so I went back to those contractors and I said, you got to break it down for us. And what they said is that some of the things they needed to do to make intelligent building, which was to link the data between, was 70% of the engineering cost.
Wow.
Before they even got to the stuff that had any visible value to anybody.
Wow.
70% on non-productive, no value added end result work. And he said, now I get it. And, they've been a strong supporter. But it does take those aha moments. As I say, if you haven't encountered the problem of making the data work across systems, then it's hard to appreciate how important Haystack is. So,
well, I wanted to transition a little bit towards the show and why people should go, and y'all did a great job about there's 5 critical reasons: gain important knowledge and insights from practitioners on the leading edge of data-driven intelligent facilities. 2, explore solutions at a sponsor showcase. 3, network with other industry experts, is what really is great dissemination of information and examples. 4, influence the future of the industry. And 5, location. Now, I think that this is a home run here, because it's 1 plus a grand slam, because that location is incredible. My daughter lives.
You missed item 6, the interoperable blues band. But let me give you.
And 7, Control Trends will be there.
Absolutely.
And 8, Mark Peacock will be there, so Cindy Crawford might show up.
And the Peacockettes are going to show up this time. Yeah.
But let me give you some examples, Ken, of just some of the presentations. GE is going to be there, talk about how they have been applying Haystack to their lighting systems.
Wow.
Now, we know that they've been working on that. They're going to take the stage in one of the sessions and talk about the work they've done. You're going to have people there bringing in open source initiatives that are doing. We've got National Renewable Energy Lab, Lawrence Berkeley Labs, and other government organizations coming and talking about what they're doing that relates to tagging, open systems, and improved, better intelligent controls in buildings. You've got Mark, why don't you talk about our keynote speaker?
Well, and again, the way the event is opening on Tuesday, we are going to have a really awesome keynote speaker. And many of you know him from his former days at IBM, a gentleman by the name of Jim Fletcher, who is now a strategic and strategy partner at Momenta Partners. And he's going to give us a view on, well, you don't know what you don't know, and really bring this whole concept of data and insight into the discussion, both from his previous days at IBM and then also working with a variety of Fortune 500 clients and customers and things like that. So that's one of the keynotes. And then on Wednesday, it's Wednesday, is that we're going to have, John mentioned earlier about how the OEMs now are adopting Haystack into some of the things. So we're going to have leading OEMs up there talking about Haystack and what they're doing from the OEM perspective. And then, also this whole idea about this pitch fest, which I'm personally extremely excited. And like Shark Tank, it's, you've got 7 minutes, pitch it and get out. Pitch, get out, pitch, get out.
Yeah.
And so it should be extremely interesting, and a wide variety of different types of things in and around open source and, of course, Haystack. So, but, also we've got 3 breakout sessions. And, we've got a technical track, we've got a business track, or what we call
applications,
real world applications. And a lot of the working groups are going to be presenting. I know one of the other there's lots of folks beside GE. Intel is going to be presenting something. Yeah. And then various members, Blink Spring, Sky Foundry, Cadero, Siemens, and so forth and so on. So it's a lot of good content. And what I like about this time around is the following, is that this is our 4th one. And I think the content is by far the best we've ever been able to put together for of it, including the previous three. And there's such a wide variety for those who just want to come and learn about Haystack, who really don't know that much about it, to the folks who have been practitioners for 5, 6, 7 years now. So,
yeah, let me throw a couple of titles at you. You taking Haystack to the enterprise, how Haystack enables more efficient work order management in your CMMS. Okay, Haystack for smart cities, how Haystack enables artificial intelligence to be implemented on building system data, right? How the value of tagging and how it's developing in Europe. We have, it looks like a European user group forming that'll hold their own meetings. The latest on Haystack, which is the plugin for Niagara, right? Haystack in industrial applications, data centers, agriculture, and other, that are different types of applications. And then, as I said, we've got people from the various government labs talking about the future trends in fault detection and diagnostic, how they're automating campus dashboards using Haystack at National Renewable Energy Lab. And, it all just goes to show how real the use of Haystack is. And you have these practitioners who, they put their guard down and they share what they're doing, even though the room might be full of, people they compete with. It's a really collegial atmosphere.
Yeah, well, so John or Mark, walk our audience through sort of the mechanics of Haystack, because again, you mentioned a taxonomy, it's a language, but just getting down to brass tacks, is it something that it's a naming convention? So if you're programming something, you use this convention? Is it a software you download and use sort of as an overlay? What exactly is Haystack from just sort of a nuts and bolts standpoint?
All right, well, first, let's say it's 4 different things. First of all, it was a methodology. Here's how you should approach adding descriptors to your data. And one of the key things about it is you can use it with a pencil and a yellow sheet of paper and write things down. Here's the name and here's the tags. You can use it in Excel where your columns, form your, but then you can build it into software. Right. Truly build it into software. Build it into dialog boxes. So when you define a point in a BS, the dialog box prompts you to add the tags. What is this exactly, right? So that's one thing it is. It's a methodology. The second thing it is the community, right? And this idea of working together. The third thing that it is the ending models. Okay, I'm going to take this methodology for defining a taxonomy, and I'm going to attack solar systems, air handlers, VAV boxes, electric meters, and I'm going to say, here's my proposed standard on how the tags we should have on every electric meter. And that comes to the community for consensus approval.
Gotcha.
The fourth thing that it is, go ahead, stop me.
No, well, we'll do the fourth thing. Then, Mark, I've got a question specifically for you from a manufacturer standpoint. Let's get the fourth thing. But this is great, okay. John. This is really good.
So the fourth thing is it's a REST API so that we can exchange data. So if I make my device Haystack compatible, I can download reference implementations for Java, C#, C++, Dart, JSON, all these different programming environments. And I can, very easily, I can make my app talk the Haystack API, right? Nice. So it's all of those things. So are there software tools to help you tag your data? Absolutely. In fact, some new ones are going to be pitched. 2 of the PitchFest people are coming with tools. Are there libraries or ontologies of devices and the tags you should use? Absolutely. That's where the working groups come in. Yeah. The standing group on air handlers is going to meet a brand new group on cybersecurity to define the tag sets necessary in a cyber environment. They've started their work and they're going to present in their working group, right? So you get at one of the things that is a little hard for people to understand about Haystack. It isn't one single thing. It's an approach, a methodology, and all the tools and community action that comes out of that so that we achieve the goal of making sure our data can work with each other.
Well, no, dude, that's got to be a hell of a competitive advantage as this thing gets legs. I'm surprised everybody's not doing it.
I mean, I know you on one of the key points, okay? The efficiencies it creates if your data is already tagged are in fact, they're so amazing that if you haven't encountered it, it's hard to believe it. You'll just say, yeah, John's excited about it. He's making stuff up. But this is what enables software to automatically interpret data and know what to do with it. For example, in our commercial product at Sky Foundry, one of our apps is an energy analysis app. It looks at the data and it goes, I know that's a meter, it's a sub-meter, it's a main meter, it's this. And the app just shows the stuff. That would have typically took work by a technician or someone installing the system. If you know what the data is, your software can automatically interpret it. You can call it AI, you can put whatever buzzword on. The result is things happen faster with less effort. We can all deliver better value to the building owner. And they didn't want to pay for this unproductive work. We just had to do it in the past. Well, now you don't. Now we can focus on the stuff that's really important. What do we want to do with that energy data? Not 10 hours of mapping it so that I can draw a graph on the screen.
I was going to say, one of the exciting things is, we spent a good amount of time talking about the value of the sessions and the true content, the business side. But, one of the things that we said early on when we first designed the Haystack Connect event is we've got to have a little fun. And beside good locations, Chattanooga, Colorado Springs in the past and so forth.
Saddlebrook last time.
So, yeah, Saddlebrook. And it's on the last evening, we put on what's called the Interoperable Blues Band. And this truly, you talk about a collaborative effort. This is members of the control space, the building space, the data space, and all this. We all come together and we have a rock and roll blues fest. And many members show their wares. They pick up instruments, they play. And Mr. Petsy is an avid, very good drummer.
Half of that's correct.
Another member, Leighton Wolf, who organizes this for us.
Leighton Eric Clapton Wolf.
Yeah.
yes, Mr. Clapton Wolf organizes this for us. And so what we do is we get a really good jam band locally, and then we supplement it with the folks attending the conference. And, many of us, it's, not this R&B stuff. It's good, solid rock and roll blues. Mr. Swope, I think, is going to be there.
Nice.
Jam a little bit. And one of the things that I contribute to this, beside, let's play this song or whatever occasionally, and getting a kick out of John playing the drums, is I get together the Peacockets, which are the backup singers for the band. And so I'm putting this call out to any and all who's listening. The Peacockets are looking to add to our singers. So reach out to me if you're interested. Please do.
Yeah, by the way, you can sign up on the website to be part of the band. There's a page to sign up for the IBB, so you get on the list and you'll get information on the playlist, so you can come a little bit prepared. Some pictures of past events on there, but it's a tremendous amount of fun, and it ends the conference on a really high note, no pun intended.
All right, boys, how do they get hold of you? Okay, so first of all, we're going to put a link, for registration there, but the main website is projecthaystack.com or org? Or?
Well, no, I mean, for the conference, it's haystackconnect.org. Okay. Right? There's actually 3 websites involved. That's for the event. That's where you register, learn all about the event, see the program. Project-haste.org is the technical site, but we have a new website we launched just a month ago to handle all the marketing. It's marketing.projecthaystack.org. And, it's a better place with, more graphics and stuff. The engineering site is where those guys get down to, presenting models and stuff. So this gives all the resources, guide specifications. We have a magazine, Haystack Connections. We have fantastic, issues that show what the real world is doing.
Very, very welcome, fellas. All right, there you go. Project Haystack, man. Be there or be square. It's going to be a party, and we're going to be there.
All right,
fellas. See you later. There you go, Control Pro. Hopefully you enjoyed that as much as I did. Hope to see you in San Diego. Please take advantage of the offer. Subscribe to the channel. Remember, be bold, stay in control, stay relevant, and learn how to tag.